This is 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just waking up, worried about Nigeria. Many things disturb me about President Tinubu's administration and his style. First of all, I did not vote for him. And secondly, I'm still worried about the process that brought him to power. It's still like a bad dream, the way it all happened. It's still like a nightmare to me because I find it difficult to believe it happened. But my current worries have to do with current happenings, particularly on the Dangote refinery issue. I was just thinking this morning that Tinubu happens to be the Minister of Petroleum. He's in charge. And he cannot pretend not to know what is happening to Dangote refinery. I don't even know why he made himself the Minister of Petroleum. Just like I don't understand why Buhari made himself the Minister of Petroleum. It was started by Obasanjo. But let us look at Obasanjo's administration compared to these two men who just came to mess this country up. While Obasanjo was the Minister of Petroleum, in the 8 years of his administration, he did not borrow a kobo. The income that came from crude was well used. How come in 8 years Obasanjo did not borrow? But in Buhari and Tinubu's almost 10 years, they have borrowed almost 150 trillion. Obasanjo, who made himself Minister of Petroleum, managed our resources well. That is just, the proof is there. Just because Obasanjo made himself Minister of Petroleum, Buhari jumped on the bandwagon and he became Minister of Petroleum. A man who could not manage one ministry. He managed the executive. He was the head of the cabinet and at the same time, the Minister of Petroleum. So because Obasanjo was a Minister of Petroleum, every president of Nigeria will now be Minister of Petroleum. And then Nigerians don't complain much. And that's the reason these people are taking us for a ride. I'm always thinking about my country. Even though I did not vote for Tinubu, when he became president, I was like, well, let us give him a chance. Let us see what this man is going to do. But he has been setting every foot right or wrong. There's nothing to show that he means well for Nigeria. There's nothing to show that he will be able to turn this country around. I am smart enough to see that. So if there's any Nigerian who is still saying, let us give him a chance, it is just 1 year. Those are foolish Nigerians. They know nothing about leadership. That was the same thing they did. In Buhari's first term, he achieved nothing. And then we were like, well, let's give him another term. Another term, and it ended up doing nothing. Doing nothing. Going to Abuja by road is still a nightmare after Buhari's 80 years and many other flaws. It is very easy to know a president who will do well in his first 100 days in office, not to talk of 1 year. How will you do well? We are talking of cutting down the size of government, and Tinubu came And he rose the number of ministers to about 50. When we were already complaining that 40 was too much. How can you do well like that? Because he was more concerned about compensating people all over Nigeria to solidify his political grip on the nation. So what is happening to Dangote Refinery? Our president, Tinubu, cannot pretend not to have a hand in it. So Nigerians should have him to blame if that refinery fails. Why am I so particular? Government does not own Dangote Refinery. But the fact that we are a country that produces crude, despite the fact that we produce crude, we cannot refine our crude. Is that not stupidity? We will send the raw materials abroad and then they bring it back to us refined. Back to us refined. That is stupidity. How long are we going to continue like that? This is the reason I'm proud of Dangote. Angola has not been able to do it. Many countries in Africa. Africans are not loved. The black man is hated. And they will only be interested in the politics that will perpetually keep us under. The fact that President Tinubu is the minister in charge of petroleum implies that there is the probability that the decisions made under that sector will be those that will favor him as the minister. So there's nothing that happens under the petroleum sector that Tinubu can exonerate himself. He has already made himself the man in charge of petroleum. As for Heineken Lokobri, he is just the Minister of State for Petroleum. By the way, I've just been told that he held a meeting yesterday with Dangote and other stakeholders in the sector. I hope they come out with a long-lasting resolution that will show support, solid support for Dangote and his refinery. But my question is, why did it take them this long to call for that meeting? I mean, the meeting between the NMDP ROA, the NUP RC, the NMPC, and Dangote Refinery. Why did it take these agencies this long to call for the meeting? Because I know the controversy of the IOC is not supplying crude to Dangote Refinery has lingered for almost 2 months now. Does it mean if the uproar has not been high, if the people have not joined their voices with Dangote to condemn what is happening, the government of Tinubu would not have responded? I think I'm joining the call for Mele Kyari, the MD of NMPC. And then, what's the name of the other man? Ahmed Farouk, the head of NMDP ROA. I'm joining the voice of the people calling for them to be removed. Ordinarily, one would have expected that Mele Kyari, who has been deceiving Nigerians, would have been removed by Tinubu when he came to power. He has a reason for keeping that man there. I think the call for their resignation is not even, because there's nothing they'll be doing there that the overall head of that ministry, the president himself, is not aware of. You see, what has been going on with the Tinubu administration is enough for the House of Assembly to declare what do they call it? A vote of no confidence on him. But they are not going to do that. They are not going to do that because in Nigeria, the legislators and the executive have become one. in 1 year of poor performance, in 1 year of retrogression, is enough. 1 year of bad governance is enough for a House of Assembly that is open doing to pass a vote of no confidence on an administration. But these ones are not going to do that. They've become one with the executive. They've become one. Ordinarily, to cut down their jumbo allowances, they've refused to do it over the years because it's a self-centered thing. Every selfish man wants to remain there and enjoy the booties. The National Assembly has become the retirement home for ex-governors. I wish I can encourage for a law to be passed that ex-governors should no longer be allowed to go to the National Assembly. It is becoming too much. It is becoming too much. When you feel, when you are done with governing your state, go home, retire and go home. The government of Nigeria was not made for you guys. People like us should be in the National Assembly. Whether we have money to bribe people or not, we should be there. Look at the way Ahmed Lawal, the manner he got back into the house, even after declaring to contest for the presidency. How about Akpabio? That's a story for another day. These governors should stop going to the National Assembly. They have nothing to contribute. They just go there to hide. You hardly hear their voice on any positive thing. They just go there to hide silently and enjoy their booties. Anyway, we are watching. These are my thoughts this morning. Have a blessed day.